All right, this is composite figures. Let's call this part 1. All right, when you guys look at composite figures, of course, the composite figure says that you have two particular shapes connected to each other. So in this case, you have one shape here, which you have a quadrilateral. A quadrilateral is any figure that has 4 sides, and you have a triangle. The question here says, what is the area of the composite figure? So in other words, guys, when you see composite figures, you're going to do 1, 2, 3, or even more than 3 steps. The first step that you guys need to do is you need to find the area of this quadrilateral, and you need to find the area of this triangle. And at the end, once you find both areas, you must add them up. So what I like to do is I like to draw it out again, and I'll draw it out and separate the two figures. All right, I'll separate the two figures, and I go ahead and write down the dimension. Remember, we're adding the area of both figures, and at the same time, so for instance, this top part here of this quadrilateral, what's the measurement? 12. And what is the right hand side of the quadrilateral? 17 inches. All right, so now let's go ahead and investigate this part right here. The base of this triangle measures how much?
4 inches.
How did you come up with that conclusion?
60 minus 12.
Very good. So this is important. If you look at this measurement here, 16 minus the 12 will give you the 4. Again, 16 minus the 12 will give you the base, which is 4. Now we need to find this height, because this is actually a right triangle. What is the height of the right triangle?
5 inches.
5 inches?
6 inches.
6 inches. So remember, this is the height of the quadrilateral, right? And the measurement from here to here measures 11. So if you take the 17 minus the 11, that gives you 6 inches, which is represented by the what? Height. So now I'll go ahead and put 6 inches. I'm trying to draw everything out so you guys can see step by step. Once I have these two here, now on the bottom, what I like to do is I like to go ahead and write down the formulas for each one. I know I'm going to add this here, and I'm going to add that there. So does anybody remember the formula of area of a triangle? Yes.
It's the base times height divided by 2.
Base times the height divided by 2. So notice what I'm doing. I'm just setting it up. I'll put the bracket, and I'm going to add the next one. Can anybody tell me what the formula for a quadrilateral is? Yes. All right. So now we have that. The next thing I want to go ahead and do is just input that information. What is the base of the right triangle? 4. So I'll put 4 parentheses. What is the height of the right triangle? 6 inches. Over 2. Plus,
12 times 17.
all right, so I have 12 inches times 17 inches. We can work this out. Well, we could work at the numerator. What's 4 times 6?
24.
24 divided by 2.
4.
So this is, keep in mind, this is 12 inch squared. This is inch times inch is inch squared. And wherever we have area, that's what we're doing. So 12 inch squared plus 12 inch times 17 inch.
204.
How much?
204.
204. 7 times 2 is 14. 1, 2, 1, 3. This is 17. 204 inch square. The last step is to what?
No.
Add them up. So we have 4 plus 2 is 6. This will be 1, that will be your final answer for the composite figure. So whenever you see composite figure, you want to see how many figures are in the shape, split them up, write the dimensions of each figure, write down the formula that deals with area of each figure, and at the end we add the figures together. Now I want you guys to know something very important. This is what I like to tell everyone. If the figure is outside of the figure, for instance, if you look at this right here, we have the quadrilateral, right? If you have a figure and there's another figure outside of the figure, we add the two figures up. If the figure is inside the figure, we subtract. So I'm going to go ahead and do another one for you. Ready? This is part one still. Let's go ahead and take a look at this one here. We have this here. And we have this to be 12, 10.
Which question?
I'm making it up.
Oh, okay.
And we have this to be
6.
3. And they're all in inches, all right?
You're
They're all in inches. The question says we want to find the area of the shaded region. So this is my shaded region here. This is my shaded region. So remember what I said. If the shape is outside of the other shape, then you what? Add. Very good. But if the shape is inside the shape, so here we have a quadrilateral, and inside the quadrilateral we have the what?
the circle.
So in this right here, at the end we should subtract. So here we go. The very first thing we have to do is what? Separate both figures, right? So we're going to separate the quadrilateral, and we're going to separate the circle. So in this case, like I said, we're going to subtract. Why? Because the quadrilateral is actually bigger than the circle, correct? All right. So we're going to go ahead and write the dimensions of the quadrilateral, which is what? 12 inches and what? 10 inches. And we're going to write the only piece of information that is given from the circle, which is the what?
The radius.
Very good, the radius. What is the radius?
3.
3 inches.
Okay. What is the next step you guys should do?
Right, formula.
The formulas. So the formula for area of a quadrilateral is what? L times W minus, does anybody remember the formula for area of a circle? Yes, sir.
2 pi r
Pi r,
squared.
there you go. Pi r squared. The different ones is this, ready? It's for circumference.
Yeah.
But for area for a circle, it's the same one. Okay?
I'm sorry, it's just how it's written.
No, that's all right. That's why we're practicing. Okay? So we have this. Well, what should be the next step, guys? Plug in the numbers. But you see how organized the work is. If you follow these steps, guys, you cannot go wrong. So we're going to go ahead and plug in a number. L is what? What is it? All right, 10 inches. What is W? All right, I'll write that down. Minus, we could leave it in terms of pi, but let's change pi. Remember, the books tells you pi is the same thing as what?
3.14.
3.14. So let's use 3.14. 3.14. What is R?
3.
So it's 3 to what?
Second power.
To the second power. So what is 10 times 12? 120 what?
Inches.
Inch squared. Don't forget, but because inch times inch gives you inch squared. Minus, well, we can work this out first. Remember, order of operation tells you to work out the exponents first, correct?
Yeah.
So this will be 3 to the second power is the same thing as what?
9.
9, very good. 9 times 3.14.
I already saw it. It's 28.26
All right, so this is 28.26
square inches.
square inch. The last step is to do what?
Solve.
Subtract. So once you subtract these two, what do you get?
91.
91.74.
91.74 That is your final answer. So what we're going to do right now is you guys are going to do one on your own, and then we're going to work on it together. All right. So right now.